Hey everybody, it's Wintermute here. Okay, there. I subscribe to a bunch of YouTube channels. I have a wide variety of hobbies and things that I'm into. One of which is law, in general. As some of you, most of the people who watch my videos would know, I was in law enforcement for about 10 years, and so one of the channels I subscribed to not too long ago was he does these video shorts, and I'm going to put a link to the particular video I'm talking about right now down below. And but in a nutshell, he tackles kind of legal issues and talks about them. And I saw one today where there's somebody trying to serve someone else a lawsuit in relation to the incident with the right after the election in Washington, D.C. Now, I have not been following that closely. I have my own opinions about what's going on there. Not relevant. I have watched some of his videos. I'm pretty sure I know where he falls on the political spectrum. Again, not relevant. The video, though, shows somebody trying to serve a notice to appear on someone, and the person who is and really I should say stop this video right now and click the link below and watch that, because I'm not going to try to describe it. I'm going to kind of assume you watched it. That'll make a lot of sense if you do it that way. It will make more sense. So he thinks that this is hilarious, and he's laughing and mocking the person who's being served. I watched this exact same home footage, and it's problematic. And so that's my first issue, is how problematic this paper service was from start to finish, based on real law enforcement experience. And I've served plenty of paperwork in my day. And then the other problem I have is his reaction. He's almost giddy at the idea of this person. He thinks it's funny that this person was served the way they were by this guy, presumably a complete stranger, barging into somebody's garage without their permission. That's problematic in and of itself. Okay. Let me put it this way: when you're going to, the vast majority of paper service, whether it comes from law enforcement, whether it comes from a private citizen serving paperwork, which can happen in some areas, or whether it comes from a civil processor who's hired to do this, basically you just go up to the person's front door, you knock on the door, they answer, you say, "Hey, are you such and such?" "Yeah, okay, I've got some paperwork that I need to give you." "Okay, great." They may ask you to sign something just to show. Most people are not going to have a problem with this. They're going to just sign. It's most people know that this paperwork is coming. It's not a shock. So that's how the vast majority of paper services go. Now if they can't get you at home, they might go to your place of work. They might do something along those lines. But again, it's still usually civil. If the if it's a civilian serving the paperwork, then they might ask law enforcement to accompany them just to try and avoid any issues. Though law enforcement are not the ones enforcing the paperwork service, they're just there to keep the peace. Now, let me say before I continue, every jurisdiction can be a little different. Okay, I'm talking in very broad sense. I've worked in 2 different states and did this sort of thing in 2 different states, 2 very different, legally very different states, Florida and Washington State. And I could do a whole series on just how mind-boggling different these 2 states are in their legal systems. But this whole process still basically boils down to the same thing. So when you watch the video, you'll see this guy just pull up in a rush into this woman's driveway, and then get out and run into her garage where she just pulled into and parked. And this guy comes up, runs into the garage, and then a moment later he's backing out, and she's coming out screaming at him. First, okay, so let's look at the obvious. Is this legal? That's going to depend on where you live. In a general sense, though, in a very broad sense, it may be legal. However, it may not. and here's why. He didn't have permission to be in her garage. She didn't give him permission to be in her garage, and he just he ran right into her garage. That's a problem right there. Somebody, law enforcement can't just walk right into your house. They can't. Well, even if your front door is open, and they know you personally, and they're coming to serve you paperwork because whatever, they just know you. You know. Maybe you're a criminal regular, or maybe you are there at the functions for the police department every summer. Whatever, they know you. They still cannot just walk right into your house and walk right up to you and serve you. And if they can't do it, then the civilian can't do it either. Okay, as a general rule. Okay, nobody really has the right to just walk right into a stranger's house. And now I will say this: some states have a different definition of what constitutes your house. Most states, though, will say that if it's a garage that is attached to the main body of the house, it's an extension of the house. There are some areas that I know will say if it's detached, it's a little different. It may still be trespassing, but it's not considered a residence, which may change the kind of the way things play out. But still, at the end of the day, you don't just walk right into somebody's, home. And this guy walked right into somebody else's home. So right there, that's a huge problem right there. Okay, everything else he was doing up to that point seemed fine. He's pulling in real quick. He wants to try and contact her before the door closes. That's okay. He's trying to and it never plays out like the movies where some person walks up. Hey, you're Bob from the class of '88. Oh yeah, that's my alma mater. You're Bob Smith, right? Yeah, I remember you from college. Oh yeah, I'm Bob Smith. Okay, you've been served. Nobody does that. That's ridiculous. You don't have to do it. You just walk up to the guy. Are you Bob Smith? Yes, I am. You've been served. That's it. And sometimes you don't even have to do that. If you have a picture of the person, you walk right up to him and you go, "You've been served. You're Jane Smith. You've been served." What? I don't want that. Turn around and walk away. That's what you do. Now, it's not even going to be that terse of an experience most times. Most times it's going to be, "Hi, I'm here to serve you some paperwork. Your job. You're John Smith. I can, right? Yeah. Yes, I am. I'll take the paperwork. Do you need me to sign something? No. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you." That's the vast majority here of paperwork service. So the whole thing right here is he's just going up. He's trying to catch her before she goes inside all the way and serve her the paperwork. No problems. As soon as he broke the threshold of that garage, though, man, this became a whole other problem. And I'll tell you this, and I can't say for sure because I never really encountered this particular situation, but there's a seriously good chance he would be arrested for what he just did, for trespassing. Yeah, that what he did was not legal. Based on my experience. Now, there may be some states and jurisdictions that give extra authority and power to paper service, people, civil service people who do this for a living, but they're not going to give them more authority and more freedom to do something that a law enforcement officer couldn't do. I would be shocked to find that. Now, there might be an extreme case, and I'm not an expert on the law, across the entire United States. And like I said, I worked in Florida and I worked in Washington State. Very different systems. So I do have a bit of a breadth of experience. So this entire situation is already problematic. So was it legal? I don't think it was. Will that nullify the service? Probably not. But this guy might need to suffer some consequences for this. The person serving the paperwork might. That's not up to me, and I don't know. I don't even know what jurisdiction this is in. Once again, it's not really that important. We're talking in generalities here. But then the second thing I want to ask is, was it safe? No. Even if what he did was legal, he was an idiot for doing that. He caused a potentially very dangerous situation. Okay? Because I'll tell you right now, if I pull into my own garage and I'm getting out of my car and somebody comes running up on me, I'm probably going to react in a very violent way. I'm not going to apologize for that. Now, I'm not claiming to be some sort of badass or anything like that. That's ridiculous. But I'm going to protect myself. Okay. Now, I don't know what happened in the garage and how he approached her, but I can tell you just from watching his demeanor running into the garage full bore, man, he was really doing something very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. And let me give you a very real world example of what I'm talking about. Me and my ex-wife were at a sci-fi convention. She was doing some cosplay. There was no good place to sit and eat because of the cosplay she was doing. So we went out to our car and we went ahead and sat in the car in the parking lot. Well, some guy, now our car's pulled face in and the parking lot's filled. And I just happened to look in my rearview mirror and I watched some guy walk right out from underneath the van that was right next to my car. I'm in the driver's seat. And he looks over, sees me, spins his entire body, and starts walking directly towards the driver's side from the rear of the vehicle. I dropped my sandwich and immediately grabbed the zip cord on my fanny pack and put my hand in there to grab my gun. Which, quite frankly, was the correct response on my part. And my ex-wife even said, "I am so glad you did that," because that she goes, I feel that was the proper response too. Okay. Now, as soon as he realized what I was doing, he stopped, threw his arms up. Now I'm not dressed like I wasn't on duty. I was in my civilian clothes. He throws his hands up and goes, "Dude, I ain't trying to do anything funky. You don't got to shoot me." And I go, "Okay, fair enough." Now I hadn't even drawn my pistol, but he knew what I was doing. It was pretty plain. And he goes, "I was hoping maybe I could bum a couple bucks off you." I'm like, "God, sorry, but I can't help you with that." He goes, "Okay, no problem," and he leaves. But now, if you're in your own garage and you're getting out of your car and all of a sudden somebody comes running up into your garage towards you, imagine how much more defensive you're going to be. And you suddenly go hyper vigilant and hyper aware. Absolutely. So this dude was out of line just for basic personal safety reasons. This was a ridiculous thing for him to do. So yeah, the whole, and I would say like if this situation had played it out and I was there to keep the peace, I would have grabbed that dude before, assuming I had the chance. I said, "Dude, what are you doing? I have to serve her." You don't run into her home to serve her. You go to the front door and you knock on the door. That's what you do, like a normal, civilized human being. And if she doesn't want to answer that door, too bad for you. She doesn't have to. That's her home, her abide. And I did read some of the comments left by other people in this video, where they're asking, how does this work, and actually wondering and commenting on is that really how it works and things like that, and at the end of the day, that's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, that's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, what this guy did was ridiculous. And to keep the peace, I would have stopped him if I had been on duty and there at the scene and could have. I would have said, "Dude, no, you're not doing that." Even if he had the legal right, like he was granted extra authority or something to just walk right into somebody's home and hand them paperwork, which I seriously doubt, I would have been like, "No, you called me to keep the peace, and that's what I'm going to do by helping you not get shot or beat up by a homeowner who doesn't want you to enter their home." Which brings me to kind of my next point, which is, this is a lawyer talking about this video, and he says at the end, sometimes that's just what you have to do. I'm like, no, that's not acceptable. This is not how this is supposed to work. This is not okay. And now, even if this scenario was okay and legal as a civilian, fuck that. That law needs to change. Because that's unacceptable. That this behavior by the person serving that paperwork is acceptable. That's not okay. And I don't get how a lawyer, whether they're, and I don't know this guy's background very well, whether you're a prosecutor or a defense attorney or somewhere else in the spectrum of legality, you should see this and immediately go, this is problematic. This is problematic. If I'm a defender, if I'm the defense, oh no, Your Honor, I got a problem with this. And if you're the prosecutor, oh yeah, no, you ran up into somebody's home. You're lucky that you weren't hurt. So I don't understand this lawyer on his channel. I don't understand his response. I really don't. I find it strange. Now it's his channel, okay? He can be, he can put out his opinions as he sees fit, and I certainly do that on my channel. But when I talk about my law enforcement experience and any sort of legality, I'm putting my former law enforcement officer hat on. Okay, I'm not going to put on my libertarian hat and then just go hog wild on law enforcement in general because I don't like a lot of the laws that are out there or the legal system in general, because I don't like a lot of the laws that are out there, and I don't. I'm going to give a well-reasoned explanation of what you should and shouldn't do, and you should not do this. Okay, and he's practically giddy, and he honestly thinks this is funny, and she deserves this. Like, look, I don't even know what she did, and this is problematic. I don't care. I don't care if she's Hitler. Hitler has the same rights as you and me in this country. Yeah, you got to choke that down a little. I know it doesn't taste good, but that's the fact. And I read the comments to this video, and there was a lot of people. Yeah, those damn Republicans. And you know what? I say that a lot too. Those damn Republicans, because they piss me off too. But that doesn't mean that they get to be treated like shit, and that their rights get to be trampled by some idiot who's overzealous to serve his paperwork and get paid. That's ridiculous. So the whole video, not just the incident itself, but this lawyer's reaction to the video is really problematic. He's not even trying to put out some sort of explanation. Now I know it was a quick clip and a short, and basically he put it up there for entertainment purposes to laugh at this person being served, and he says she gets served in the most hilarious way possible. Like, this isn't even funny. This isn't hilarious at all. This is silly and dangerous at worst, and illegal possibly even. So very, very strange video, very strange response by the person who posted it. And now again, I say I will defend his rights to put up whatever he wants on his channel and talk about however he wants. But then he might get some people like me who are going to talk about it and kind of go, I think you're really off base here. And I do. I think he's off base. So yeah, I saw this morning, and it really stuck with me, and I thought about it like off and on throughout the day, and I'm like, you know what, I have to say something, because I really don't want somebody to watch this video and think that what happened is okay across the board or acceptable. Now maybe in that one jurisdiction, maybe this is perfectly okay to act like this as a civil processor. But I'll tell you what, you leave that jurisdiction and you try that somewhere else, you will probably run into problems. Yeah. I will say there was a very good chance that this guy would have been arrested. The prosecutor might have dropped the charges. The supervisor might have said, "This is a bit of a quagmire. Let's not arrest him. Let's do the report and let the prosecutor do." So there's a couple different ways to tackle it, but her response was not outlandish. Her response was not outlandish. And again, I deliberately did not look up her name because I don't care who she is or what she did. Okay, if you want somebody to get karma, then you have to let the universe take care of it. You can't take action. You can't take the law into your own hands. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people don't understand anymore. Is they think, well, those damn Democrats or those damn Republicans deserve every law we pass to screw them over. Like, no, that's not okay. Okay, so just because this woman did something that a lot of people didn't like, okay, she's still that is irrelevant to the way this situation was handled. Okay, that's my point. And I can't tell you how many times I had to deal with this, with similar situations in law enforcement where, well, this person did X, Y, and Z, but they're an asshole. And that's besides the point. Well, no, they're an stop. I don't care what you think of them. What you did was wrong. It was illegal. You violated their rights. And now you're going to go to jail. Or whatever the case is. Or get trespassed. Or, whatever. However it ends up resolving itself. So that's my 21 minutes worth of rant about this video. And I'll post a link below. For anybody who's interested. So, Wintermute signing off.